Welcome to Etheria Restart. Today I'm here with Hermes and we're going to be talking about the top 3 SSR support Animus inside of the game. These 3 are the ones that you're going to want to be looking out for when you're doing your summons because they will greatly improve your team. Hermes, welcome back to the channel, man. Before we get into our list though, I need to first of all thank everyone for watching. Second, let everyone know this video was sponsored by Etheria Restart, and at any point in time you can use this QR code or the link in the description to download the game and get 10 free summons just from utilizing the code. Now, it's time that we get into our list. I want to talk about which of the Animus are the best ones, and we're talking about support here, and I also want to talk about why. We can kind of look a little bit through their kit and see exactly what makes them so special. And I just gave it away. We're starting off with Lily. Why don't you take us through her?
Oh man, dude. Lily, she continues to impress me. And like every time that I use her, which is, every day in almost every battle,
Yeah.
I don't realize just how good she is. Like every single day, I'm like reminded of just how good she is. I mean, her kit is just incredible. I mean, that A1 brings in that ally attack. Again, like that, this is when you need to get fully skilled up. You need to invest your lattice into to get a 100% chance to assist. This is such a powerful move to add on to any of your damage dealers, whether that's dot team damage dealers or it's just straight up raw damage dealers. This is such a valuable skill. And it is a cornerstone and yet just a side piece of her kit because it is so incredibly good.
Hmm.
And you lead that right into her A2, which can give out again once it's fully maxed, which again I think people really should do, is it reduces skill cooldowns and it increases turn meter. It does all of this stuff on this skill that really again boosts and amplifies the damage of your damage dealer. You get increased speed on the team, increased crit damage by 50% on that main damage dealer. There's just so much value in her kit that just brings so much to the table for a damage dealer. It is kind of crazy that this is all just in one Animus's kit.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's also true. Like a lot of people, they look for the Animus that are going to drop the most damage, but it's important to know that utilizing these support Animus as well are going to amplify that damage for your damage dealers. Let's take a look at her S3 as well.
That S3 is, again, it's still a very valuable skill it had, but it is almost a different type of skill, I feel like, and it doesn't fit as well with her kit. Like, it's again still very valuable with her kit, but
Hmm.
it doesn't fit as like the full skill doesn't fit as well because it increases the cooldowns of the all of the enemies by a turn and she also reduces the ally with the twin trick, reduces their cooldowns by 2 turns. So she still has that reducing and basically amplifying the damage by getting your damage to the round to their damage dealing abilities faster. But then you need accuracy to then also lock out the enemies. And so you don't really build accuracy into a kit. So you might get a lucky cooldown reset or cooldown increase out, but
Yeah.
that's not really going to be the main part of her kit or the focal point is getting accuracy for that move.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Appreciate you going through the 3 and talking about why the S1 and S2 are so important and why the S3 you can do without throwing lattice into it. When you pull Lily, you should be very excited because you basically just had won the day. I remember when we pulled her on this account, it was just a good day overall. Let's dive into our number 2. Are these in any particular order, by the way? When we were talking about, do you like one more than the other? Like, is Lily your number 1, or are these in no particular order?
I feel like Lily is number one. She just is number one, period.
Hmm.
Um, Again, supports is a very broad category, and I just think this is like a very solid top three role it covers.
Yeah.
Lily is based on supporting your Animus. They're going to do a lot of damage implication based on that, but she's really focused on improving your team. Whereas I think the next pick on the list is really going to be more so focused on damage amplifying in a different way, which is yep, Klaus. Klaus the goat of just and I say goat obviously in a lightly because the way that she all that she brings, like the role that she does is so incredibly good, which is debuffing enemy units. And as a support character, she is, I think, with no question in mind, she's just the best. She's the best at what she does, which is being able to debuff and then damage amplify based on those debuffs.
All right. No, I love hearing that, and it's nice to know that the role that she really focuses on is the number one in the game right now. Let's take a look at her S1 to start.
Yeah, so her S1, and we've talked about this before, but her S1 is nothing really crazy. All it does is it has the opportunity to put out hacking in progress on a single enemy, which again, that is used to amplify the damage on the enemy team, which is nice, but this isn't really one you're really going to want to focus on because you care a lot more about her S2 and her S3 abilities.
All right, well, here's the S2 right here. Notice I haven't ranked up or leveled that S2 just yet.
Yeah, so that S2, I think again, that's the problem with this game. And right now, you're sitting on a lot of lattice. You probably want to start using some of those, I would say. But the problem with a skill, like with having so few lattice, is you can't really max out all of your animus in the game as you use them. And so I feel like, for you, it's kind of a smart move. I saw that you did some pretty good leveling up on that S3, but this S2 is good still, obviously, with the opportunity to steal and then redistribute your enemy target team's turn meter is a really valuable thing to be able to do because you're putting their skill, not their skill cooldowns, but like their turn meter back down to 0 or very close to it,
Mm-hmm.
while at the same time you're boosting up your allies' turn meter, getting more damage around, as well as again putting out more of that hacking progress stacks, which again is good because it helps with that hacked in.
Yep, that makes sense. But it really just takes us to that S3, the magical one right here, which is where all the lattice has been put into her formatting.
Yeah, this is her money move right here. It puts out that reduces the defense by 60% and reduces speed by 30%. Like this is just a crazy, crazy good move. Having the opportunity to do this as well as putting out that hacking progress 100% chance, it is just such a valuable move because it slows down the enemies, puts out two of the best damage amplifying debuffs in the game, and it just really sets her and your team up well to do a lot of their really good moves and to really get a lot of damage output. And just across the game, her kit is just so valuable. You kind of use her wherever her affinity is either strong or neutral.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty much going to use her as your debuffer when you have her because she's just that good.
Well, I love it, and as I mentioned before, I'm just happy to hear that she's just taking that number one role and running with it. But this takes us to our third and final support SSR from the game, and we're talking about the newest or one of the newest Animus at this point in time. We're talking about Fakui right here. So why do we love her so much already? And she's only been in the game for what, 2 weeks now?
Right. So she's actually a really interesting one because she is obviously a different type of support unit than the first two. Her support is really a lot more focused on sustain and survive with a little bit of turn meter boosting in her kit. So
Mm-hmm.
her real focus is just making sure that your team is able to get her onto their turns while being able to just keep their HP up and keep nice shields on her. So like really getting into her kit, that A1 really gets into the abilities because what it talks about is that Moonlit Veil, which is the centerpiece of her kit. And Moonlit Veil, what it does is every single time that an ally takes damage or has finishes their turn, they get their turn meter increased by 9%, and they get a 6% heal of their max HP. And so in theory, you're like, oh, well, that's not a lot. But when you think about it, let's say that there are three enemies doing AoE attacks on the enemy, on the enemy team, you're looking right there at 27% turn meter boost
Mm-hmm.
as well as an additional 18, what is that, 18% healing just off of that without even taking a single turn. So that really, really is valuable, making sure that she gets that. And so what it does is it increases also this A1, also increases at two random allies turn meter. And all of that put together really makes this just a powerful move of being able to put out more Moonlit Veil, being able to get more turn meter out on your allies, and it just is really, again, the more Moonlit Veil that she puts out, the better it's going to be for your whole team.
All right, so there's actually a lot going on with that A1, and I like that it stacks off of the number of opponents that you have on the other side. Let's take a look at her A2 really quickly, and also keep note, I know that I just got her on the account about a week and a half ago, but no lattice have been put into her as of yet.
Yeah, and again, I think with most Animus in this game, their A3 is usually going to be their money move. There are some with these SSRs where you're going to obviously want to invest all into all their skills
Hmm.
or into two of their skills or whatever else. But a lot of times it's going to be Really, the S3 is usually the big one, but I would say always check a kit before you just invest. You don't want to just blindly invest unless you're a Kraken and you can just put all of your lattice in as you get them. But what makes this one really good is her ability to trigger Moonlit Veil on an ally with very low HP. Like that is a very valuable ability to be able to go in, trigger that, and continue on as she goes. Because again, turn meter boosting and also being able to increase that healing.
Nope, makes a lot of sense. And obviously, as you throw into that and throw that lattice in, you get that up to you can get it up to 100% chance to drop that to trigger Moonlit Veil versus the 55% that it is with no lattice in her whatsoever. And then we
Yeah.
have her S3, the final one, Moonlit Tides.
Yeah. So the Moonlit Tide is honestly is such a powerful move as far as sustainability and support goes because it puts out a shield equal to 20% of her max HP. And that's really important because a lot of times, you'll get healing based off of, oh, each ally's max HP or a shield based off of their max HP or whatever else. But when you get off of your HP, let's say you're able to stack up at 60K, I mean, you're getting 20% of that is a huge shield to be able to put out all these different things. You're getting just massive shields if you can get her HP up high enough, and additionally puts that increased speed out. And both of those abilities are just so valuable to have. And then also to be able to put out an additional Moonlit Veil on herself, just again adds to the value of her kit.
No, I love it, man. I love it. Thanks for breaking down these three Animus. My question that I want to close out to you right here is obviously they're all support based champions or Animus. So, first of all, where are you going to use them all primarily? And obviously, you're not going to use all of them at the same time. So, can you just give me like a 1 minute breakdown and let everyone know where should they be utilizing these Animus as well as what do you want? You don't want to pair them all together.
Right. So I mean I think that there is something to be said that they can be in like a longer, bigger fight. There's a possibility to be paired together, based on affinity with Klaus and Fukui or whatever however you say their name, both being that hollow affinity, they can be a pretty good pairing. But I would say that the biggest one obviously can be Lily. Lily is going to be used just about everywhere that you can use her, simply because she is just that strong and that powerful. And so Lily is just you slot her into your team does more damage, it gets runs done faster. That's just basically it. So Lily is just about anywhere you can put her on the team, she's going to be good. There's very few situations in which Lily will not be usable, but I think that some of her best places to put her in are putting her into shell dungeons, um, as well as Terramatan. For the dot teams in the upper level, you really do need a Lily in order to make those teams be successful. We try to make them easy.
Makes a lot of sense. So my last question was going to ask you if you could only have one of these Animus, which would it be? But I think I already know your answer. I'm assuming you're going to say Lily here.
Yep, Lily is the goat. And so that's the other thing to think about, right? Is that with both Fukui and with Klaus, there are substitutions that do a similar job to her. Not nearly as good, but they do a similar job. Whereas with Lily, the ally attacks and everything else that she does, those are the biggest things, and it doesn't really, no one comes close to her kit and her usability in that way.
So Lily is the GOAT. Essentially what we're saying here is the number one support Animus inside of the game. But now you know our top three and which ones, when you pull them out of your summons, you should get really excited about. Hermes, thanks for coming on through and spreading your knowledge with the community yet again. I want to again thank Etheria Restart for sponsoring today's video and remind you guys, if you are itching to play the game and have not yet done so, download it for free with the QR code or link in the description and get yourself 10 free summons. There's no reason not to do it. We'll see you guys back here in another video. Before I go, actually, Hermes, we have guides on the channel for both Lily and we also have one for Klaus, and very, very soon we're going to have another one for Fukui. So if you want more information or details on those Animus in particular, how we built them out, where they should be used, go check out those videos so that you can get a full look. Again, thanks for coming through, brother. I appreciate you, and thank you guys for watching.